Welcome to the Sharpe Way. Yes, we are here on Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern, like I've been trying to do for the past couple of weeks. And it's Tuesday, which means it's last weekend today. Yes, talk about some of the news that happened over the weekend. And also just recently, I think I may cheat a little bit and grab a couple things from yesterday and today because I am in lockdown. As an hour from now, New York City is in a curfew. Yes, I live in a police state, and that's where I am. Belly of the beast, here I am yet again. As always, guys, please like, comment, share. It's important you let people know this is happening so people can watch, so people can talk about this, so we can get our media out there. As always, I bug you. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on YouTube. Please do all of those. They matter. All right, so what am I going to be talking about today? Well, obviously you know that in New York, we have a lockdown. New York City, we had a lockdown yesterday at 11, and New York City people said, well, that's not good enough. 11? What kind? If you're going to curfew, do it right. And they said it's got to be earlier. So then our mayor, of course, immediately said, of course, what was I thinking? Let's immediately go to 8. So now we have 8 p.m. is now our new curfew. So we can't go outside unless our overlords say that we are essential, and then we may be outside. The answer, of course, to a violent protest is, of course, more violence. What else would you do, right? So we're going to have even more cops come in, more cops stomping on people, more cops running people over, because that always works. So we're going to be doing that. I wish this was all some type of crazy joke. It's not. It's absolutely real. It's totally happening. And not just in New York City, as I hear. Thank you, Joey. Rochester, out of control. Yes, everywhere we go. This is how it's working, right? Our answer is let's just keep making these things bad. It is horrible, and people just don't want to stop. Yes, sadly, what we're finding out, and for those in the Liberty Movement, in the Liberty Movement, I want you to understand what this is doing. It's showing you all who are with me in the Liberty Movement exactly how much work we have to do. You would think that when the government decides we're going to lock it down and stop it, we would go, oh, how dare they? We want people to stop it. Nope. We are not about that at all. We're about, okay, yeah, not 11. Can we do 8? That's what we are. Let's clap. Yay, yay. Put us in jail even more. So this is what we're up against. We have a lot of work to do. There are people who still think the right answer is more force and more government constantly. Absolutely. Yes. Authoritarians do. Yes, they do. Absolutely. And yes, I am keeping it up, Crystal. Thank you so much. I'm trying to keep it up 100%. We are trying to make this be better and better and better, and we can't stop. We've got to keep talking. I'm not for the violence, but there is a difference between violence and then nothing. There is a middle ground of people getting upset and showing some empathy. I mean, that's what I really want. I want a little bit of empathy. So I want to cover a couple things. And the first thing I want to cover is actually CNN. I want to cover CNN. And in this case, it's Don Lemon saying something that bothers me personally. This is a personal issue I want to bring up. It bothers me because it's as if he doesn't understand who he is. Here we go.
Do we even have a country anymore? This is unbelievable what is happening.
He says, this is unbelievable what is happening.
From west to east, east to west.
From west to east, east to west. Unbelievable. Here's my problem with Don Lemon. Don Lemon, obviously, for those you don't know, I'm sorry, is black. Is he so young he doesn't remember Rodney King? Why is this so unbelievable? He hasn't seen us riot before. His friends or family didn't tell him about Watts in 1968. If he wasn't born then, I don't know if he was born then, but he didn't hear about it. I was born then, but I heard about it. I was a baby, but I heard about it. I knew it had happened. Rioting is what happens. MLK spoke about this, right? rioting is the language of the unheard. Yeah. Why are you the drama? And I just happened to pick CNN, but it's not just CNN. It's media in general. Even the media won't do it. I remember there was a part. I don't have this part, but there was when the rioters attacked CNN. If you remember, and you remember this, the rioters attacked CNN in Atlanta, and the CNN correspondents ran behind the cops, and some of them started saying, "Oh my God, they're protecting us, keeping us safe," and all of a sudden they started loving the cops. But there were some CNN people who actually were out with the rioters. And you know those who were out with the rioters? They were literally war correspondents. Like they had fought in Afghanistan. That's wrong. They had served in Afghanistan. They had served in Afghanistan. They had served in these war zones. And then they decided to hang out with the protesters because they were brave media. That's what you're supposed to do. But there are a bunch of people, like in this case, Don Lemon, sitting in his safe area, yelling, "I can't believe it's unbelievable." What are you doing? Of course it's believable. Of course it is. I get upset because we're acting like this is something that's so out of the ordinary. Like, this would never happen in America. Yeah, it would. Yeah, it does. Right? Yeah, it does. Right? Rush Limbaugh was on the Breakfast Club. And in the Breakfast Club, Rush Limbaugh said, this isn't America. And the people in Breakfast Club said, yeah, it is. Where you been? Yeah, it is. Where have you been? This is America. I'm not saying I'm happy about it. Please, I'm not supporting it at all. I'm saying let's stop pretending like this is so magical and oh my God, I can't believe it. Of course this was going to happen. You put 40 million people out of work. You left them at home for 3 months. And then you don't do anything about policing. And you haven't done anything about policing in 40 years. And you go, this happened. I'm shocked. You've changed nothing economically since the crash of 2008. You've changed nothing in policing since the war on drugs at its height in the 80s and 90s. You've done nothing to make things worse. And you go, I can't believe this happened. Oh my God. I put this kettle on with water and I put fire underneath it and it's whistling. Whoa, who would have thought? That's the part that drives me crazy. And again, I say this, and I know this is a racial issue. And for those who don't like what I deal with race, I'm sorry. Don Lemon's black. What are you saying, man? Come on. You know better. You know better. You're a black man in New York, and you're gay, and you don't stop. I mean, violence against gay people on top of it, violence against black people. Come on, Don. That is what bothers me personally, guys. He should know better, and he acts like, oh my God, I'm so shocked. Of course this was going to happen. Of course it was. Let me go now, if I could, to my amazing governor, my overlord, who has decided in all his wisdom what he's going to do. This is my overlord, His Majesty King Andrew Cuomo, and what he had to say on the COVID crisis and how good things are. Oh, watch him take care of this because he's the man. And New Yorkers, for some reason, love him.
All the numbers indicate that. Our experts are going over the numbers.
Yep.
But,
Experts
there's
are.
no reason to believe that the
We're going to move into phase 2.
Phase 2 tomorrow.
Look how lucky we are.
I fully,
Look at that.
Plan to affirm that later this afternoon.
He plans to allow us.
Capital Region will go into phase 2.
Thank you. Oh, my overlord. Thank you. He is going to allow us to go out and work and make a living. That's what he's going to allow us to do. And this, I want to be clear, New York State says, what a great guy. The amount of people I know who are saying, look how amazing our governor is. I want to vomit. I can't believe how many of my fellow New Yorkers think this guy's great because he's going to let us go. And New York City, I get to go into phase 1 on June 8th. Oh, now I can't actually work because I'm not essential enough. But some people can. Oh, look at that. Look how amazing this is. Terrible.
New York City's on track in the midst of all of this.
Look at that.
To open phase 1 next Monday.
Okay, now hold on. New York City's on track to open in the midst of all of this. So even with all the people rioting, all the people out, we're still going down. Weird. If you look at the stats he brings up, and he brings up a ton of stats, one of the stats he brings up is 43% of all the deaths were in nursing homes. Nursing homes means when they stayed home. 70% of all the people went to the hospitals were staying at home. So this lockdown didn't stop anything. This lockdown that he put us in, that he destroyed, didn't put us into anything. It didn't save us at all. It just destroyed our economy. That it did very well, right? If you look into the destroyed economy, well done, Your Majesty. Well done. But unless you were looking to destroy the economy, that didn't work too well. Now, that didn't work well at all. Completely screws up. Now, he's going to decide if we can have summer camps. Can we? Please tell us.
Summer day camps are going to open on June 29th. We're still reviewing the situation with sleepaway camps. Maybe
we can do sleep. Maybe he will let me decide where my children can sleep at night. He might let me do that. This is good leadership.
So that's the COVID situation.
That's done.
Going very well.
You've taken care of that for us, even though we're riding.
Civil unrest.
Yep.
Post Mr. Floyd's killing.
Now what about this?
That's also a complex situation with a number of levels.
Is that right?
You have protesters who are outraged.
Is that right?
What has happened?
The way that this guy just repeats stuff that we already know is horrible. He just says, and then they're angry. Oh, we didn't know that. Thank you. So they're outraged. I thought they were happy. I couldn't tell. Appreciate that, my friend. You were rocking and rolling.
And you have criminal activity, looting.
Look at that.
Extremist groups.
That's what it is, extremist groups.
Who are using this moment.
Yeah, for what? Tell me.
For their own purposes and exploiting this.
Which you don't know what those are because you made that up.
Two very different things.
Totally different. Tell me difference.
On the protesters.
Tell me.
They're outraged.
Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you.
And by the way, I agree with them.
You do?
What happened to Mr. Floyd was a disgrace.
Is that, you know what? If you hadn't have said that, I wouldn't have thought that. But I don't remember you saying that when it happened. That's the problem. I don't remember you saying that until after this happened. Then all of a sudden now, it's a disgrace. Where were you? I'm trying to think. Who was the governor when Eric Garner was choked out? It was you is who it was. Yes, it was you who it was. And you did what? Yeah, nothing. But blame somebody else because it's the rioters who you don't even know what their answers are. Go ahead, keep telling me.
It was repugnant to America. It was repugnant to any good policing perspective or strategy or approach.
Right.
And it's not just Mr. Floyd. This was not an isolated instance.
No way. I thought it was.
It goes back to Rodney King and Amadou Diallo. And
Amadou Diallo was in New York too, wasn't it?
Louima and Eric Garner. And cases just like it all across this country.
Oh my God, mostly in New York.
And at one point, enough is enough. And people say, I can't believe this is still going on.
So enough is enough wasn't Eric Garner. That wasn't enough. That was fine. We were good with that one. Amadou Diallo, we were fine with that one. Those New York ones, those are fine. This is the one. Okay. I'm glad this is the one.
After all of this time.
Okay. So you got it. So great. Tell me what you're going to do now. Going to have all this time. Tell me.
Rightful outrage.
Rightful.
And by and large, the protesters have been peaceful.
And what we need the people to do is be quiet and go back in their cells. I know that we killed somebody, but just be quiet and go back in your cells. Just do that. He is the leader. He is our dear leader. So let's just go back in ourselves. God.
They're upset. They're angry. Yes.
You've said that 4 times already. Thank you for keep repeating that. And we didn't figure that out. This is the guy that New Yorkers want to vote in. This guy.
But they have not been violent.
Oh, okay. Good. All right.
They have been peaceful protests. And what do they want? They want overdue reforms.
Overdue reforms. So let's say someone, I'm just going to wonder who could be, who's been in charge of New York State for the past 10 years? That would be you. So the overdue reforms, maybe you could have done something about it. Maybe. Or could it be other random people? Or maybe it is our mayor, who's been mayor for now, 8 years, 9 years now? Is it 8 years now? 8 or 7 years? 7 or 8 years? Could be those people. But yeah, please continue. Enlighten me, because this is so enlightening. Without you, I don't know what I would do, dear leader.
They want reforms that should have been done 30, 40, 50 years.
30, 40, 50 years ago. How about 10 years ago? Not that. So once you didn't do it 40 years ago, what's a governor to do? Particularly a governor who now, since 2018, has a Democratic Assembly, a Democratic Senate, and it's a Democratic governor. What is a governor to do? I don't know. You could just wait until it looks really bad and then act and point your finger at someone else. You could do that, and I guess you could do that.
Go. They want America to be better.
Yeah.
I also remind the protesters.
Tell me.
That their point is very important.
It is.
And their outrage is justified.
You've only said that 18 times. Great, I got you. Keep going. What's the plan?
But keep in mind.
What? Sorry, keep in mind.
During this moment, when you're going out to protest,
right,
we're still in the middle of the COVID pandemic.
But you just told me we're doing fine. You're opening up stuff now. Which one is it? So, I know you want to protest. I know that cops are randomly killing people. I know they are. But just, there's a virus that might affect you and you might get sick. So don't protest. Go back in your cell. And even though you're going in your cell, there's still 60% of the chance that if you stay home, you might get it anyway, because over 50% of the people who go to the hospital are staying at home. So it doesn't increase your odds at all, but, fine.
We're just reopening Western New York.
Yeah.
We're just reopening the Capital District.
Who would know?
We're going to reopen.
I'm just wondering, who closed it down? I'm trying to remember, who was the person who closed it down, put millions of New Yorkers out of work, destroyed millions of New York companies, and the reason why we're able to actually be out there and protesting is because we don't have any job to go to tomorrow. So we don't have anything else to do. So why not go protest? My boss won't be angry. I don't have a boss. So I might just go ahead and protest. Why does it matter? Oh, guess what? Let's blame somebody else. Because blame, you are good at that. Yes, you are.
New York City this coming Monday.
Then what?
Yes, protest. Yes, express your outrage.
But do it the way I want you to.
But be responsible.
Yeah, look, black people. I'm the white governor, and you will protest the way I tell you to. All right? Get in line, black people. What's wrong with you? That's what he's saying. Don't think he's saying anything else than that. That's what he's saying. Just do it the way I tell you. Go in my box that I tell you in what I call my free speech zone. Say it over there so I don't have to hear you, because then I'll get upset. And I don't want to be upset because then I'll have to punish you like I punish my enemies, because I'm a vindictive governor.
Because the last thing we want to do is see a spike in the number of COVID cases.
Oh, yes. We might have a spike in COVID. People might get sick. So let the cops keep killing people. Come on. Priorities. Let your businesses collapse. Priorities.
And that is one of the complications of these compounding crises.
There is no way that we could handle that without you, though. Luckily, you can make that happen. Awesome.
I know.
What do you know?
A lot of the protesters are so annoyed they don't want to hear about COVID anymore.
Is that
COVID
right?
Is yesterday's news.
Is that what it is?
COVID is still a problem.
Really? You just told me it wasn't.
And COVID still kills also.
Yeah, you know who it kills? Out of the 100,000 Americans who've been killed, over 80,000 are senior citizens. I'm not saying it doesn't kill people. It does. It's a horrible disease. And the Swedes have figured this out. And the South Koreans have figured this out. We've all figured this out, except for you. You're locking the entire state down, destroying it because you already started this terrible example. Because you already started this terrible example, you can't go back now. Otherwise, you look like the fool that you actually are. In reality, we should be helping out people who are at risk. 80% of the people who died were senior citizens. Let's protect our senior citizens, not send them back into the nursing homes that you sent them back into to have them die. 43% of all the deaths, 43%, 4 in 10, were in nursing homes. And you're worried about 18, 19-year-old kids out there protesting. Why? What's wrong with you? You got to make sure you're right. You don't care about reality. That's the
So
reason
be
why.
mindful and respectful of that.
Let's be mindful and respectful, because you know who was respectful? Those cops when they killed George, super respectful. Those cops when they choked out Eric Garner, super respectful. And you reacted so well when they killed Eric Garner in New York City. You did nothing. That's what you did. Nothing. And the governor, what did he do when they killed Eric Garner? I'm saying the mayor. He did, nothing. That's what he did. And now we have this. So I don't want to hear this stuff. I'm sorry, I'm getting so upset, guys, because I live here, right? I live here. Some of you guys live here too. I know some of you New Yorkers are feeling the same thing I'm feeling, but some of you aren't. But it's coming to you, right? It's what I always say about New York State. This is a real battleground state. That's what it's a battleground state. What happens here will happen to you. And the worst part is COVID showed that they can do whatever they want to us and we'll sit back and take it. And then when this happens, they'll do this too, and we'll sit back and we'll take it. We have a lot of work to do, guys. A lot of work to do. Let me grab a couple of comments before I go. I know a lot of people are commenting. Rodney, thank you for checking in, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yes. Authoritarianism, no. Liberty, yes. Absolutely, Roy, 100%. Yes. All right. What do you think about the kinds of don't kneel on me? Here's what I think. Let's not do the me piece, like the don't tread on me. Not that. I don't want me. Me sounds selfish. Let's do anyone. Don't tread on anyone. Don't kneel on anyone. I don't want the cops not kneeling on me. I don't want them not kneeling on me. But I also want them to not kneel on you too and everybody else. I do not want cops kneeling on anybody. That's what I want. People are so focused on the riots and not the reason for them. Yes, Andrew, it is distraction. Right? He spent the special interests. Okay, what's their interest? What's their goal? What are we doing? He doesn't know. He doesn't care. It's taking the focus away. You're totally right. Look, are there Antifa people and alt-right people doing stuff during the protest? Of course. That's what they would do. They take advantage of this. Of course they would. Tons of bad people are taking advantage of this. It doesn't mean what happened to George Floyd is any less any less important. Wow, terrible choice of words. Important. And also, it doesn't mean that his death can't be more impactful. It can be. Let's not let those people who are doing bad things, for now, ignore them. My point is, people ask me, what would you do? I was just talking to a college a couple hours ago, and I said what I would do. If it's me, the first thing I do is I don't put cops in the streets. That's the wrong answer. And I don't have a curfew. No. For people to do this, they want to be heard. So when this happens, what do? If I'm the governor or I'm the president or I'm the mayor or I'm the insert executive, me and my team go out in the streets and meet the protesters and say, I'm sorry, here's my plan to fix it. I hear you. I got it. You're yelling and screaming. I hear you. You don't have to yell and scream anymore. I got it. My ears are wide open. I got you. I hear you completely. And here is my plan to fix. I came up with a plan over the weekend. For those of you paying attention, my 4-piece, my quick QICC. That was over the weekend I came up with that plan. You're telling me these guys can't come up with a plan? You know, I didn't hear from my governor a plan. What I heard was COVID, be scared. Rioters, be scared. Oh, they're righteous. Go back to your cell and shut up. Go back to your cell and shut up. I'm not going to do anything to fix this. Why would I do that? I'm your king. That's what he thinks. I'm your king. Go back into your hovels. That's what our governor thinks. He's not going to fix anything. That's the first thing I would have said is, I hear you. My ears are open. Here is my plan. Help me move my plan through my assembly or through Congress or through whatever. Help me move my plan through. Now we're in this together, brothers and sisters. That's what I would have said. What good leaders do is they don't go, I got this, be quiet, go away. That's what crappy leaders do. What good leaders do is say, okay, guys, get up. Let's get this going. Let's fix this. Let's do this. Let's fix this. And that's what they should do. And that's why we have no leadership. No one's talking about, okay, you know what? You don't like it? Me either. Let's fix it and come up with a plan. And if you don't like my plan, okay, let's tweak it. All right. Maybe my plan was put together too hastily. All right. Show me how. I got something. I'm showing you I got something on the table. Let's fix it. Let's do it. And we're not doing that at all. So Police chief, sheriff, and mayor came to Jamestown protest and an open discussion. Yes, Rory, yes. That's the answer. Show people that you heard them and they'll stop breaking stuff. Now, some people are going to break stuff anyway, but here's the best part. If you connect with people like Rory's talking about first, most of the nonviolent protesters, they'll leave. They'll walk away. They'll go back home. They'll go, okay, good. I trust this guy for now. Let's make sure we're going to move forward, but they'll go home. So who will be left? The looters and the bad guys. They'll be left. So now I let my police force back out. Now I let them back out, and they can get the bad guys who are just trying to be idiots. No worries. Now some innocent person trying to walk home gets shot in the face by a rubber bullet. Now I don't have mace getting sprayed on reporters. That doesn't happen now. I don't have cop cars running over protesters. Doesn't happen. Connect first. Lead with empathy. Lead with emotion, and then logic. We lead with the fist first because it's all we know. That's all government knows, is leading with the fist first. And we wonder why we get the fist back. Okay, sorry. Let's see here. Yes, we are equally American. Words do matter. Absolutely. The media keeps telling us it's so hard to solve, missing the obvious first step. Yes, Lyndon. There we go. Congressman Amash, right? He said get rid of qualified immunity. He wanted to go through Congress. I'm good with that. I'm not sure it'll pass. I hope it'll pass. I was talking about pushing through the Supreme Court. Any way you want to do it, okay. If his way's better than mine, I'm in. I just want it fixed. They can all have that the credit. I don't really care. All right. Biden said that he will address institutional racism in the first 100 days of his presidency. Wasn't he vice president for like 8 years with a black president? And he's like, I'll do it now? He was vice president with a black president for 8 years. And now he's like, you know what? Maybe I'll fix that racial thing. I'll work on it now. If you guys, elect me. Even though I was a senator for 30 years before that? So he was a senator for however long, many years, whatever. Like 30 years, he was a senator, then vice president with a black president. And he's like, yeah, I'll fix it soon. Now he's going to fix it. My mom was just watching NBC when I went in and they're showing the Floyd video while saying, stop being mad. Yeah, please don't be mad that this could be you or anybody else. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe he's sensationalizing the facts to add excitement and like a TV show looking for it. Yes. Remember something, guys. Many of us get angry at the media because we think the media is supposed to do something that it doesn't do. We think that the media is supposed to educate us or inform us. Now, the media has one job, to be seen. It's equivalent of a reality show. That's all it is. It's reality TV. That's what it is. And they do a good job of it. Who gets there live and says the most crazy stuff is the person who wins. Yes. Oh, I love this, Tim. COVID created a pile of tinder. I'm so stealing that. George Floyd was a spark. And I'm not giving you any credit, Tim. I'm taking it. I'm going to sound like I'm super smart without you. Brilliant, by the way, though. I'll give you credit now. Now I'm going to steal it from now on. That's awesome. Created a pile of tinder. George Floyd was a spark. Yes, it was. Absolutely. Wish more would have given you the reins. Yes, I would have, because you know what? When I get the power, I give it back. That's what I do all the time. Yes, deal with race, my friend. Conversation is part of the solution. Yes, we got to talk about it. And notice when I talk about it, I'm not trying to fight. When I talk about race, I try to ignore blame and justice. I want change. I want things to be better. The country's just getting more diverse. We've got to fix these issues. We got to make them better. That's the issue. Make them better. Politicians haven't changed anything. Yeah, they've changed nothing for the years. You're totally correct. Yes. Yes. He's not shocked. He's just numb. Maybe. I don't know. Don't apologize for talking about race. People need to suck it up. Well, I don't want to go that far. I don't want to feel like people to suck. I don't want that. I want them to be open to the conversation, right? If you can't talk about race, how can you fix it? And there's always going to be something different, right? Like now I'm talking about a black issue, right? But there's times when they're attacking the Jewish community in New York. I'm not Jewish, but I still care about that community also. I care about every community in New York, right? And there's no way, and I guess it's I'll bring this up, right? I talked on Sunday about the idea of being choked out and the black man being choked out in public. And how if you're black, that has a special pain to it, because that's what lynchings were. When people were hanged, meaning executed, if you ever notice, the knot is on this side and the bottom falls out, they fall, neck snaps, they die. It's quick, right? That's how you hang. Snap, dead. But when you lynch someone, the knot's in the back. The neck doesn't snap, and you pull them up slowly and you choke them out and they die helplessly while others watch. And it's always males, not always, but usually males. They do it to strong males, strong black males, and they let everyone watch. It's a sign for everyone. Look, you have no power. You uppity blacks, get back in line. That's what that is. To the average person who isn't black, there's no way you can feel that the same way someone who's black feels it. That's an emotion. If you're Jewish, I'm assuming, like, I'm not Jewish, but seeing a swastika or seeing Nazis, there's got to be an emotional piece that I can't feel. I can intellectually understand, but I can't feel it at a gut level. All I can do is try to say, okay, I understand it's a problem, acknowledge that I can't feel it, but understand it and have a conversation. That's how I have to with my Jewish friends. I can't feel what they feel. I can just intellectually understand it and have a conversation, try to have empathy and say, I guess that's got to feel horrible for you. I think when it comes to this black case and a black man being choked out in public, to a black population, that is a lynching. And if you're white and you don't understand it, no worries. You don't have to understand it, and you can't. No worries. But let's talk about it. Let's at least have an intellectual understanding. And every one of us who've had that type of women with men, I mean, that type of thing, right? There's no way I can feel what it is for a woman to feel the way a woman feels when she's being harassed or she's being, assaulted by. How could I possibly feel? I can't. I can intellectually get that it's wrong, but we can't connect unless we talk. So I don't want to suck it up. I want to have a conversation, Matt. I want us to feel each other and understand each other so that we can be better. So what experts? I don't know. Those he paid? I guess so. Yes, there we go. Right. Experts on his payroll. There we go. Those are the ones. Yes. So, all right. The people he killed in nursing homes. Yeah, I know. He literally sent them there. Absolutely. Absolutely. Good. For some reason, I can only use the like button or I would have laughed. Thank you, Sean. I'm trying to make it interesting, right? Yes, I do beat up on him often. Yes, I do. And I do go on fire because this is the worst part about this, Adam. Yes, I'm on fire because still to this day, most New Yorkers still think Cuomo is doing a good job. They're not gonna in about a year from now. About a year from now, they're gonna be like, oh my God, my state is even worse than it was. And when literally hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers pack up and leave and don't come back, that's going to happen in the next 2 years. Those in New York know that because 100,000 already left last year, and now 200,000 will leave this year, more. But the biggest issue is New York City's not coming back. New York City is not coming back the way it used to be. It can't. How do I know this? A lot of my executive coaching is with wealthy people. They've already left. They're already at their second home. They're already at their home on Long Island, on the Jersey Shore, or upstate. They're already there. And they're working from there now. They've been working for there for like 3 months. They don't want to come back and do subway stuff and play the games in a crowded city. They like working from home. Got family and friends and kids and cool. A bunch of them aren't coming back. They're going to stay there and come in once in a while. And when that mass amount of people stop coming back to New York City, all the people who service them go away too. All those businesses collapse. The city is not going to be as good as it was at all. All right. Let's see if I can figure this out. Yes, Anthony, what happened to Eric Garner was disgrace too. And he did exactly nothing like that. Nothing for that too. These breakdowns are the best. Thank you, Andrew. I'm trying to do this every Tuesday, so I think it's kind of interesting in general. I'm hoping. All right. This guy's a complete clown. That's true. Yep. He's loving this as much as I do. Yes. Thank you. I appreciate that, wife. Thank you so much. Yes. He speaks about us and tells you it's Trump. They're both guys from Queens, just like me. We're all the same guy, right? We're all the same guy, except I actually have some empathy. The difference between me and the other two, we're all Queens guys. I just happen to be somebody who has some empathy. That's about it. Yes. Thank you. I try to be the king of common sense. I try to the best of my ability, 100%. All right, so let me keep going if I could. Who cares? Larry does. Yes, that is exactly right. I do care. I'm hoping I'm motivating people to follow that. So Larry's commentary needs to be in a separate bubble above the interpreter in real time. That would be funny. We got to do that. The bubbling thing, that would be awesome. Yes. Pennsylvania is not far behind. Yes, it's what I say all the time, guys. What happens in New York is going to happen to you. Absolutely. And let's head on over to that if I could. I'm not going to go to my mayor, my amazingly awesome mayor, Mayor de Blasio. So many people love, no. But he keeps winning too. And what he said about this new curfew, because we now have a curfew now in New York at 8.
Extending the curfew, which I announced would be beginning again at 8 p.m. tonight,
8 p.m.
going till 5 a.m. Wednesday morning. We're going to continue that curfew for the remainder of this week.
So he just decides, you know what? We're going to make a curfew for the next 5 days. And where are the New Yorkers fighting? Thank you, our local overlord, right? We have Cuomo, who is the overall great leader, the dear leader. And then we have our local overlord, our local baron, right? We have the overlord and then our local baron. Yes, Lord de Blasio. Thank you. Yes, this is what we're doing here. From 8 to 5, you can't be outside New York City anymore. The city that never sleeps, he just put to sleep. He put to sleep the city that never sleeps. Can we be more embarrassed? Can we be more embarrassed? The most diverse city in the country, put to sleep. Put to sleep. The largest city in the country, put to sleep. Now this is my bedtime. Daddy just told me when I get to go to bed. I get to sleep from 8 to 5. Thanks, Dad. That's what I have now. I've told you more than once, I live in a communist state, and here it is. Communist state right here. Happy. He's not even upset about this. He's like, yep, here it goes.
8 p.m. each evening till 5 a.m. the next morning.
Tell us why, Dad.
We're going to ensure there are additional NYPD resources where they are needed.
Because you know what? If you're outside, you deserve to be beaten by a stick and put in jail. Because that'll teach you.
We're going to work actively and strategically to stop any disorder.
We're going to work actively and strategically. Does that sound amazing? That sounds like he's planning stuff. No, what he means is, I'm going to send my thugs in to hit you over the head with the stick. And if you have a weapon, or I think you might have a weapon, I'm going to choke you out or shoot you. Then I'm going to put you in a cell, assuming you're alive.
But again, community leaders need to be a part of this effort. I saw powerful statements yesterday.
Look, community leaders need to get in line, goddammit. That's what he means. Get in line. Get in line, community leaders. Otherwise, I'm going to have to start smashing you guys over the head. That was a threat, by the way. That was not a request. A request would be, come on, guys, let's do it. Note, no leadership. No one's saying, I need your help. Step up. Do this. No one's saying that. You'll do it, community leaders, and if you don't, my cops will hit you over the head with a stick. And that's what he actually means. He says you have to. Then he's going to say, I heard powerful words. Great, please tell me the plan, because Cuomo has no plan. So please tell me, my local warlord, please tell me what the plan is.
From the borough president of the Bronx, Ruben Diaz Jr. I thank him.
Ruben Diaz Jr. has been, and his father, senior, have been running the Bronx for, I don't know, 50 years. I have no idea how long they've been running it. And the Bronx is literally the poorest county in the country. Well done. Good job.
I had a long conversation late last night with Councilmember Fernando Cabrera.
Oh, another one.
In his district.
Okay. What's the plan?
And the pain he felt that people in his own community, a few negative people, were undermining the progress his community had made for decades. It's palpable and emotional how angry he was. And I say thank you, Councilman, and you and every other New Yorker who will not tolerate this violence and disorder. Step forward.
Okay, hold on. What happened here? They're angry. Not because George is dead. Not because of that. Because there was some disorder. We will have order in the greatest city in America. Order is what we will have. That's what he cares. They're mad because of disorder. They're not mad because cops are choking black men to death. Whatevs. That's how he feels. I'm waiting for a plan on how you're going to fix it. And he's worried about, well, there was people who broke stuff. Cares about this George who? That's my mayor. That's my mayor.
Reclaim your own streets and communities.
Reclaim. I'm going to reclaim your own streets by putting my police forces there. Yeah, that's how we do it. Just like the Afghanis reclaimed Afghanistan by putting Marines and soldiers there. That's how the Afghanis reclaimed it. Oh, wait, they didn't. Right. They didn't. When you treat your communities like Afghanistan, you get Afghanistan. This is embarrassing. He put this curfew in and didn't even mention George Floyd. Didn't even mention him. The community leaders are so angry. I thought, oh, okay, great. They're mad. They're going to fix the police force. No, they're mad because there weren't enough cops there to keep their people in line. Right? Our New York City overlord and his local barons, they couldn't keep their peasants in line. So now we're mad. Send in more troops. Stay in line, you Bronx people. What's wrong with you? Don't you know your place? You think I may be joking, but that's what he's actually saying. That's what he's actually saying. But he said it in a nice way that most New Yorkers go, oh, that sounds great. He loves us. He cares. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't at all. So let me grab a couple more if I could. Sorry. Larry, stop and laugh because my face hurts. Good. I love it. As we should. 100%. This is terrible. This is the people that we have, right? These are the people that we have. Larry Sharpe for presidents. Oh, more than one president. I'll be like 3 of them. I love it. No, maybe 2024. It's okay. Hey, how you doing, Aaron? Yes. Let's see. Not kissing the ring is how half of my family got here. Yes. Thank you, Shelley. That's what Americans about. Not kissing the ring. That's what began our country. That's exactly right. God, yeah, I love it. Yes. Hey, Larry, all warlords are not bad. Internet warlords. Yes, very good. That's right. That's you. Yes. And warlord lives do not matter. Stop it. They're warlords. All right. Yes. We, the people, don't take orders from dictators. We don't kiss a ring. The people will not comply with traitors. I hope so, Kevin. God, I hope so. What are the reasons why? And Kevin, you get mad when I do this, but I do this with love. You will see, well, I will often bring Democrats on the show. And I do it on purpose. I do it because I want everyone else who isn't a Democrat, who's here, to understand that for the average Democrat, not the bureaucratic leaders, those people, most of them are lost causes. But the average Democrat, they're Democrats because they believe that's the best way to have success in their communities. And it's our job to show them there's a better way. And I can't show them if I don't talk to them. But there's another piece. I want those of you who are far more hardcore, and I know, Kevin, you're one of them, to be a bit more tolerant and go, all right, I got work to do. I got to baby steps. I got to bring them in. I got to reel them in. I got to baby step them in. I got to reel them in slower. And I need some of the hardcore guys like you to kind of, okay, let's have some more talk because we have a lot of work to do. And I want to change our state and change our country without having to fall into violence. So what's your plan? Was that for me, Rodney? If it was, my plan is in Sundays, by the way, Sundays, Sharpe Way. Feel free. It's about an hour and a half. It's a detail on exactly my plan. I call it Quick QICC. That's my plan. And if you like that plan, awesome, Rodney. I hope you're on board. If you're not on board with that plan, I am happy for you to show me a better way. And I mean that with sincerity. If you got a better answer, in fact, my original idea for qualified immunity was to go to the Supreme Court. Justin Amash came up with going to Congress. I'm okay. Yes, whatever works. I'm about making things work. And there's no thing that I talk about in my business, in business training. If you can't get the right plan or you can't get the good plan, put a bad plan on the table. Here's a bad plan. What will happen, at least people will go, well, that's bad. You go, okay, why is it bad? And you can begin to tweak it to make a better plan. So it's actually better to put a bad plan on the table. Note, I didn't say enact a bad plan. I said put a bad plan on the table. Put it on the table. So maybe, Rodney, you look at it and go, you know what? It's good, but ain't good enough. I can fix this, fix that, fix this. I'm in. Let's fix it. All right. Jacob, this crap wouldn't fly here in rural Kentucky. They couldn't enforce it. I think it's true. I think that's why you find that almost all the cities are blue and most rural areas are red. I think it's true, Jacob. I think you're right. This is a socialist communist takeover and trying to destroy our monuments, prove the fact that the riots are organized terrorism. You know, I don't think the riots are that, Kevin. I think there are people within the riots taking advantage of it. As I normally think, a lot of people, when they see things come together, usually think, oh, it's a plan, it's organized. I think it isn't. I think, oh, something happened. How do we take advantage of it? What can we do? How do we take advantage of it? I think that's what it is, far more than an actual plan and organization. People tend to not be good at doing this kind of thing. So, all right. Let's see here. Okay, some people like it. There we go. Panicked authoritarians do what panicked authoritarians do. They're horrible parents. That's true. Yes, absolutely. He would have killed Broadway with this. If Broadway's already done. By the way, so you guys may not know, Broadway, by the way, is already finished. Frozen, closed. The play, Frozen, gone, not coming back. That is how we've just destroyed everything. Just destroyed everything. Yes. So how curfew for essentials, right? Because everyone else is quarantined. I guess I'm not even really sure. Yes. I'm a libertarian and my wife is a Democrat. And when we talk politics, I listen to her. And when I talk, she calls me an idiot. I know. My wife was a multi-decade Democrat. That's why I married New Yorkers. Multi-decade Democrat. And the other day, this is probably a month ago or so, whenever it was, she said, you know, COVID didn't destroy this city. The government did. And I was like, aha, your transformation is complete. Took me 20 years, but I finally have her. Her transformation is complete. She's now libertarian. Got it. It took me a long time. See, Kevin, it takes time. Patience, brother. Took me 20 years to turn my wife. 20 years. I finally did it. Warren, patience. Have her watch a little bit. Patience. We'll turn her eventually. I love that. You have empathy and intellect. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate that. I'm not the same as Trump. It's correct. We just saw Queens, guys. Actually, I'm actually a Bronx guy now in Queens. So totally different. Yes. Yes. Empathy. That's exactly the right answer. Oh, you know. That's all you deal with, Melissa. That's all you deal with is empathy. That's how you move people. You get it. We're totally simpatico. Absolutely. Yes. Please run for governor again, Larry. Thank you so much. I hope to. We'll see what happens. All right. So let me move to the next one. I want to cover another one if I could. This one is President Trump. And this is him talking about what he believes is the right answer. And see if you can find the problem with Trump in this one. See if I can make this happen. Hold on. See if you can find the problem with Trump here.
As president is to defend our great country.
Hold on, get to the beginning.
The
Sorry.
American people. Highest duty as president is to defend our great country and the American people. I swore an oath to uphold the laws of our nation, and that is exactly what I will do.
No. Did you guys see the problem? He said his number one thing, is to protect the American people. No. He then took an oath to protect our laws. No. He took an oath to defend the Constitution. I know that oath. Anyone who's a veteran listening knows that oath too. It's to defend the Constitution, not the laws. People make all kind of horrible laws, but the Constitution, and not to defend every single person. Constitution first. Somehow and I don't want to just beat up on Trump. I am beating up on Trump. But every president before him for the past 40 years has decided, particularly since 9/11, that's when it's been huge. Since 9/11, it's okay now to trash the Constitution to protect every American. The reverse is true. Protect the Constitution and let Americans defend ourselves. That's why we have a Second Amendment. He's got it backward. I know some of you people love Trump. I get it. He's wrong. And so was Obama, and so was Bush, and so was Clinton. They were all wrong. He's doubling down. Trump, back off. What are you doing? You're as bad as the rest. Oh my God, I see panic. What can I do? Oh my God, I need more troops. This is the guy who wants to bring troops in. He wants to bring troops in. This is the guy who was so tone deaf. And this is the ratio issue I bring up. So tone deaf that he would say, I want to shoot looters. Shoot the rioters, basically quoting a segregationist from the South. And he's going to sick dogs on them. Sicking dogs on black people. Just don't say that, right? I get what you're trying. You want law and order. I understand that. I do. There are certain things you just shouldn't say. You should know your country's history enough to not say that. There's other ways of saying it. To Roy's point, words matter. How you say things affects people. Humans are both emotional and logic, and you gotta deal with both. As Melissa said, emotion, empathy. You gotta say it the right way, and he's not, and he's screwing up, and he's making stuff worse.
All Americans were rightly sickened and revolted.
I guess Cuomo helped him out with that because he didn't know. All Americans were sickened. We know this. This is horrible pandering. Cuomo did it for 17 hours today, and now you can do it for 10 minutes here.
By the brutal death of George Floyd. My administration is fully committed that
good.
for George and
What's
his
the plan?
family,
Tell me the plan.
justice will be served.
Justice, okay.
He will not have died in vain.
What's the plan?
But we cannot allow the righteous cries and peaceful protesters to be drowned out by an angry mob.
Who's being drowned out?
The biggest victims of the rioting are peace-loving citizens in our...
So the biggest people who are hurt are peace-loving people. That's what it is. Okay, so we can't be drowned out. Then stop talking about them. Then how about you stop focusing on the rioters and instead focus on the repairs to the system? That actually might make us maybe not riot, and then it wouldn't be drowned out. You're drowning it out because you want it drowned out. Because my mayor de Blasio, Democrat, doesn't have an answer. My governor, Cuomo, Democrat, doesn't have an answer. And you, my president, Republican, Trump, you don't have an answer. None of you have an answer. You're my leadership, and you're embarrassing. None of you have an answer. I had one in a weekend, and you can't figure one out? Of course you can. You don't want to. You don't want to. None of you do. You all like the status quo because you're all in charge now. And that's the part I can't stand more than anything. I talked yesterday, and I showed the video of the governor, the mayor of Chicago. The mayor of Chicago, a black lesbian woman who said, we're going to enforce curfew. We're going to enforce it hard. She said that? Does she not know what is going on? Does she not understand where she comes from? Does she not know she's gay and black? Don Lemon, gay and black, and they're sitting out there talking about, crack down. What are you doing? Because you have yours, you're okay? De Blasio's got his. Cuomo's got his. Trump's got his. So now it's okay? Now that we're in charge, to hell with the rest? Now crack down with the attacks? This is embarrassingly bad. I am so unhappy about this. I'm waiting for the answer. Give me the answer, Trump. Come on.
Communities.
Come on.
And as their president, I will fight to keep them safe.
Keep them safe.
I will fight to protect you.
Yes, you will.
I am your president of law and order.
That's all I need.
And an ally of all peaceful protesters.
So what he just said is the same thing that de Blasio said. And you would think they're two different parties. They're different. They said the same thing. I'll protect you. Get back in your cage. I'm the law and order president. I'm not the fair president or the change president. No. I'm the law and order president. So as long as you protest the way I tell you, all three, de Blasio, Cuomo, Trump, I'm the white man, black man, be quiet and protest the way I tell you to protest. And if I don't like that, I'll yell at you anyway. That's what they all said. I don't want the president of law and order. I'm not impressed by that. Imperial Japan was a nation of law and order, and I wasn't impressed by them either. Tsarist Russia was a nation of law and order, and I'm not impressed by them either. I would like a nation of principles that we built since the 1700s. The concepts we've been going closer towards for hundreds of years, and all of a sudden now, massive U-turn the past, 50? We're moving closer and closer towards freedom, closer and closer towards the goal. The great experiment was working. And since about the Vietnam era, it made a freaking turn for the worse. There's no tomorrow. And it's not getting any better. Since about the Nixon years, give or take, it's been getting bad and it's getting worse. And the Vietnam War, then the war on poverty and drugs, then poverty, then drugs, and now the war on terror. All these wars just make everything worse, and they make every president just another authoritarian who's afraid to shift anything or change anything or make anything different. This is now, we're all going down now. I really want a nation not of law and order. I hope we have law and order, but I'd rather have a nation of principle, and then we get that anyway, right? We get that if we have the right principles, we get all the rest of the good stuff. Let's do that. That is what I actually want. I'm sorry, I yapped away all day. It's what I do. Let me grab a couple of comments before I go on. All right. So yes, I'm about hopeless, Larry. Armed and keeping trucks stuck at home again, hiding in New York City. You know, I'm not hopeless. I'm still fighting a good fight. I'm still doing it. Luckily, a lot of people around here know me and know who I am. So they like me, so they don't usually yell at me too much. Some do, but most don't. So I think I'm okay in general. Yes, we need more libertarians to elect elected officials. I agree. Yes, we have to keep going because we do have a plan. Exactly. Yes. Let's see. No Sleep Till Brooklyn. Very nice. What's your favorite movie? I have lots of favorite movies, but I bring it up often. One of my favorite movies is Gandhi. I love that movie. I love how Gandhi stood up against the biggest empire on the planet, and over the course of 20 some odd years, see patience, he beat the most powerful empire at the time in the world without having to be violent at all. I love that. I love that. Defending your nation by sending its troops after us. Yeah, not the best way. Yes. To your wife, you could not live with your own failure. And where did that lead you? Back to me. I don't get that. You cannot live with you. I don't know where you're going with that one. I don't know where you're going with. Is that a quote or something? I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah, she's now one of them. Yes. I voted Trump, but I'm 99% sure he's lost my vote for how he's handling this racial divide. This is an issue, Chrissy, right? There's a lot of people who really love Trump and who really hate Trump. And if you just can't stand and think he's the worst thing in the world, you're probably going to vote Biden because you just hate Trump. I got it. I'm with you. I get it. All good. Or if you love Trump, you just love him. You're going to vote him no matter what. I got you. I'm with you. I get it. No worries. It's the middle ground that both of them have to worry about, and hopefully we can get some of, right? That middle ground is thinking either way. There's a lot of people who don't love Trump, but lean Trump because they lean right and they lean Republican. I get that. Many people lean that way. Some of them are going to go away because of this, but some because of the racial issue, some because of the COVID issue. But the question is, where do they go? Many of them can't see themselves ever voting for Biden because if you're heavy Republican, you've been taught Democrats are evil. So you just won't do it. So you might go libertarian, I hope. Democrats too. A lot of Democrats, particularly those who supported Bernie, a lot of them don't like Biden at all. But they lean left, so they're not going to vote for Trump. So they're going to vote for Biden. But we can grab some of those too. A lot of them are like, well, I can't vote Trump because I've been taught as Democrat or Republicans are bad. Maybe they can go libertarian. I'm hoping, Chrissy, that we have an option of getting you to vote libertarian. Yes, Tim, I think he is a panicked authoritarian too. When they panic, remember, when authoritarians panic, they always resort to violence. And then when violence doesn't work, their next step is also the same thing, pity. So it first starts with violence, then goes to pity. So once it's like, what did you expect me to do? What could I do? This was thrust upon me. That's the next step you'll see, right? Either Trump and or Cuomo, they'll do the same thing. Cuomo will absolutely, when Cuomo trashes this state by 2022, he will be in pity mode. I don't have the money. What could I do? COVID hit me. He will fall into pity mode. So it'll start with aggression and then go to pity. That's the next phase in how it works. I'm giving strong consideration to voting libertarian. Thank you. Yes, we are starting to get there. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. Trump renewed the Patriot Act. Biden helped write it. Yep. Yes, indeed, Jacob. Yes, they are. 100%. Absolutely. I do not recommend anyone enter my yard right now. I won't, Maria. I'm staying here. I can't go out. It's past 8. I'm stuck. I'll get beat with a stick. Biden can't win after all the stupid things he said. He said a lot of stupid stuff. But again, as I mentioned, there's simply people who just believe, love Trump, can do no wrong whatsoever, hate Trump. He's the evil thing in the world. I think those two types, they're going to go their route either way, right? There's a core group of people who just can't stand Trump. They'll vote Biden no matter what he says. They would vote for anybody. Doesn't matter. Biden could literally be, Weekend at Bernie being held up by a stick. They're going to vote anyway. Yes. God bless you, Larry. You are so nice to these Pooler. Yes, because they're my friends. We need them too. They're just misguided. That's all. They're just misguided. Yes. Are you excusing riders on small businesses and now they are entering home? Not at all. No. I just want some empathy on them. But again, if we were able to have some empathy with the actual people who are protesting, they would go home. They would feel heard. They would have an answer and they'd say, great. And then the only people left would be the rioters and the looters. And then the cops could handle them. The problem is now the cops are attacking everybody and they're mixed. And these rioters and looters, they are actually they're getting in between each other. They're using this as an excuse to do bad stuff. Here, yes, just what I was saying, Larry. No one in power is focusing on the issues. Absolutely. Yes. All right. Let's see. Status quo needs to change. Absolutely. I agree. President of law order, boo. Law and order means nothing. Exactly. Give me principles. I get the rest. Absolutely. Larry's two wings of Demo-Publican Republican Party. I love that. Yes. Their plan is appeasement. Jim, you hit it perfectly. Be quiet. Get back in your cell. Be quiet. Get back in your cell. Absolutely. Yes. 40% of Americans identify as independent voters. They believe the president should be elected based on merit and that the polarized DNC and RNC no longer represent them. If you're unhappy with the way the country is being run, vote Dr. Joe Jorgensen and Spike Cohen. I agree. Absolutely. Let's do it. Yes. Thank you for being a safe harbor of reason and compassion in this maelstrom of anger, fear, and stupidity. I'm trying. Absolutely. We love you there. I love you back. Absolutely. Yes. Let's see. Are the protesters heard by their representatives in putting a lot in a quick question? I know. I don't think they are. I haven't heard much of them. I hope they are, but I don't know. I hope they are. Otherwise, they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. So let me grab, if I could, as always, it's not Tuesday if we don't have a little bit of who, Fareed Zakaria.
I'm still taking in the events of the last few days, the gruesome death of George Floyd, the riots in so many American cities. So I just want to make a few brief observations. Some people are asking, why is this happening now?
Note what he didn't do, because Fareed actually smart. I know sometimes his politics draws him into the wrong answer, but he's smart. So he didn't just go, oh, it's so disgusting and horrible. All Americans hate it. He didn't just do that. He said, let me give you something that makes some sense.
Haven't things gotten better for African Americans? Many are titans of business, hold political office, or are leaders in their communities.
This is true, right? We had a black president. We've had black people who are, in charge of Fortune 500 companies. Absolutely. But where was their leadership on this type of thing? Where were they on this? They were nowhere. They were afraid to touch race or worried about touching race. Or some of them said, I got mine, and they moved on. Yeah, I'm calling them out. This is important no matter what. No matter what.
So let me say the events of the past week are happening against 4 backdrops. The first is our criminal justice system.
He brings it up.
Things have improved along some dimensions for African Americans, but there are still pervasive inequities in this country. And most importantly, there are deep inequities in the criminal justice system.
Someone who actually says it's a bad system. He's right. It's what I've been saying. I do not think and have never thought that the average guy or gal who goes to the police academy thinks, I can't wait to be hurt black people, or I can't wait to, give tickets. None of them say that. Well, I'm sure there's always bad people. So some guys say, I'm sure, but the vast majority don't. They don't do that. They go in thinking, I want to protect my community. I want to enforce the law. I want to do this kind of thing. Of course I do. I spoke to the LAPD, retired woman, sergeant last week, and she was saying, I wanted a good job. That's why I joined the police force. That's why I did it. I wanted a good job. Most people are thinking exactly that. But the system is bad, and it turns them. And if you remember, Sergeant Dorsey said that. She said that last week. She literally said that it's the system. Over time, it breaks these cops down. It makes bad cops monsters. It makes good cops apathetic, or they leave. And it makes apathetic cops even less apathetic, or sometimes even bad.
Radley Balco of the Washington Post did a good roundup. These start from something simple, like stopping a driver. Mm-hmm. In the book Suspect Citizens, the authors reviewed 20 million traffic stops.
20 million.
In an interview with the Post, they explained that blacks are almost twice as likely to be pulled over as whites.
Yep.
Even though whites drive more on average.
Yep.
Blacks are more likely to be searched following a stop. And just by getting in a car, a black driver has about twice the odds of being pulled over and about 4 times the odds of being searched.
Now, here's the issue. Now, what most Americans do is go, see, cops are racist. No, that's not what he said. That's not what I'm saying. We're both saying the system is racist. The system is why I mentioned quick. I mentioned the idea of qualified immunity, getting rid of that. Then I mentioned the idea of having cops cover their own insurance. Yes. But then I said, get cannabis off Schedule 1 and then end civil asset forfeiture. Why are most of those stops? They're stops because of civil asset forfeiture and trying to make your numbers on cannabis arrests. That's why. So cops learn over time, this is where I can hunt. People of color, immigrants, they're people who either don't trust banks, so of course they keep cash, or people have cash businesses, so they get cash. They've seen this happen over the course of years, and now they believe, oh yeah, people of color, they're bad now, or they have money, or they're in trouble. Yeah, then they keep arresting them, and they see them in jail, and they have a huge percentage of black people in jail. Oh yeah, they're all black. That creates a personal bias, and that's why it happens. The people become racist by default because the system encourages racism and rewards racists. So of course that would happen. Of course it would. The system has to change.
According to their research, blacks are more likely to be searched even though they are less likely to have contraband. It goes all the way to the death sentence, which also seems to suffer from systematic bias. Just one example. In a North Carolina law review essay analyzing murder cases from 1980 to 2007 in that state, killing a white person made it 3 times more likely that someone would get the death sentence compared to killing a black person. And there are dozens of studies about various aspects of the system, all pointing in the same direction.
I want to focus the most important piece he says here, and the one I say more than ever. It is a broken system. Why on something did I say I don't care about justice? Not because I don't care about justice. Because the president, I'm going to give him justice. They're going to bring the evildoers to bear. It doesn't change the system. The system itself encourages the wrong behavior. The system itself stops people from being punished. The system itself is the problem. That's the problem, not the individual officers. While they should be culpable for what they do, of course, but I don't just want to have George Floyd's officers, his murderers, I should say is maybe a better word, his murderers. I don't just want to have them punished. I do, but that's not enough. Let's change the system. Let's have no more George Floyds.
Second, this is happening against the backdrop of a police that over the last several decades has been given more and more arms and greater leeway in what they can do with them.
The
when
system.
I travel around the world, this is one of the things that stands out about America's police force. It looks like an invading army.
Did you hear what he said? He's been around the world. He's from India originally. He has friends who are in Europe. He goes around the world and he says, America's police force looks like an occupying, invading army. Yes, If you treat your country like Afghanistan, you will eventually get Afghanistan. Let's stop doing that. The system is broken.
With the kind of weaponry that in most countries is wielded only by an army.
Yep.
Plus, you have unions, juries, and laws that make it hard to actually dismiss a police officer for misconduct, even for totally legitimate reasons.
There we go. The system. The system.
Third, let's not forget this is all happening against the backdrop of a pandemic,
Yep.
a lockdown,
Yep.
and 3 months in which 40 million Americans have lost their jobs.
And by the way, it's as if the COVID crisis and lockdown was a pile of tinder and George Floyd was a spark. Where did I hear that from, Tim? Yes, that's exactly right.
A toll rivaling the Great Depression. This creates an atmosphere of anxiety, fear,
Yes,
and purposelessness for 3 months. It should be a wake-up call to leaders everywhere.
Yep.
That people want to and need to return to some sense of normalcy.
This is where we have failed. He literally says, and he's right, this is a call to leaders. Why in the world aren't we now saying as leaders, let's do something. Let's fix this. Come on. Let's go fix this now. Here's a plan. Help me push this through Congress. Help me push this through the assembly. Help me fight the unions and help them to become better for their cops. Help me make change. This was the time to do it. It should have happened. It should have happened after Rodney King. It should have happened after Eric Garner. And no one did a goddamn thing. I'm sorry. I got to stop saying that. No one did a thing. Some people get angry when I use the Lord's name in vain. I apologize. So I'll stop that. This should have happened. I get emotional sometimes. And it hasn't. And it should.
Of course, with maximum efforts to stay safe. It is also happening against a fourth backdrop. No national leadership on these issues.
Bingo.
Americans respond to leaders when they show empathy and courage, even when the message is hard to hear.
Yes.
Recall Robert Kennedy's plea to the people of Indianapolis after the death of Martin Luther King not to embrace violence.
Yep.
Watch Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms talk to her city of Atlanta. But at a national level, there is just an effort to further divide,
yep,
not to unify.
But it's not just national. It's national. Trump's guilty of that 100%. And so's Cuomo. I wish it was only Trump. It's totally Trump and totally Cuomo. This system is broken. Politics is broken. And we're sitting here with the opportunity to do something great, and we're not.
In any event, I remain optimistic.
I'm with you, Fareed.
These protests are part of the airing of problems, real problems, that many countries suppress.
Did you hear what he just said? These are the airings of grievances and that most countries suppress. And now what's our answer? Suppress them. Literally, that's our answer. Suppress them. Because we have a right, we have a First Amendment right, except I thought we have a right to petition the government. I thought we have a right for freedom of association. I thought we have a right for freedom of speech. I thought we did. No, we don't. We will have order because I am the law and order president. We will have order. And if I need to destroy your rights, oh, well, I'll destroy them.
I've always been reminded in these moments of the closing lines of one of my favorite books by my former PhD advisor, Sam Huntington. In American Politics, The Promise of Disharmony, he writes, critics say that America is a lie because its reality falls so far short of its ideals.
Listen to this.
They're wrong. America is not a lie. It is a disappointment. But it can be a disappointment only because it is also a hope.
Yes, we should not give up. We can't give up. America's not a lie. Frida's exactly right. America is a disappointment. And I am disappointed. We are disappointing. It's true. But we're only a disappointment because of all the hope. We're a nation of second chances. We're a nation of entrepreneurship. We're a nation of people who wouldn't kiss the ring, as Shelley said. We're a nation of people who are supposed to be doing the right thing and always getting better. We're supposed to be getting better every single time. But recently we haven't. And we haven't taken the chance We have to take advantage of this chance to make this work. And we really, really should. All right. What do we do today? I mentioned already what I would do today. It's QICC. Please check that out. Absolutely. I just want to say I love the Sharpe Way. Thank you so much, Michael. I'm trying to make this work. Absolutely. Yes. Yes, Fried is an intellectual. He is. And I always throw one out there, right? Most intellectuals lean left, and so does Fried. He absolutely leans left. And that's okay. Again, he still says stuff that makes sense. We just got to sometimes shift it a little bit off the left side. But he does make sense. He's very smart, and he gets a lot of stuff. Yes, she was excellent. Sergeant Dorsey was excellent. She really was clear on what was happening. So she was definitely, and as Shelley says, she was great. Yes. And I think things are based on a personal bias. I think that's true. But I think those biases are shaped by what we see. And I bring this up because my father was in law enforcement. He was first a cop, and then he was eventually a corrections officer at Rikers Island. And he had a couple friends who were still police officers he had met in the force. And one of them was undercover for a long time. And this is in the 70s. And he was undercover. And when he got out of being undercover, he was so jaded that he literally would look around at people. We'd walk around. I was maybe 7, 8 years old. I was a kid, elementary school. And he would point at people and go, yeah, that guy, he's going to be robbing a store. And that woman, she's going to be, beating this guy up, whatever. He would point at people and announce their crimes like he knew what they were. He prejudged them completely. He had a total bias on everybody. And the worst part is he was black. My father was black. He was black. And most of the people he was pointing at were black or Hispanic. This is the South Bronx in the 70s. He's pointing at all of them, deciding who was wrong. The system had already broken him, and he was black. It was the system that broke him, not him. So yes, I really think we have to change the system. And as I mentioned, there is a way of changing it. Julian bragged about stop and frisk. I know. Yes, law and order. Law and order. Yes. I'm telling you, Larry, support the personal liability insurance on law enforcement officers. It is a big deal. We can do it. We do that personal liability insurance. It will change everything. It will change everything. It's a critical piece, right? A lot of people have it. Gandhi was libertarian and left. He was. In many ways, Gandhi was a socialist. And people get mad at me all the time. They go, he's a socialist and blah, blah, blah. So what? So what? That means everything he says is wrong? Everything he says is bad? Somebody said, he's a misogynist. So was probably every male leader, philosopher, of teacher from the 1940s and before. So we listen to none of them? Doesn't mean they're always wrong. Gandhi looked at what he had, which was authoritarian foreigners, British, controlling his people with violence from a king, or what he saw, socialism. In his view, there were two choices. He'll take socialism. I get it. I get why he was saying it. Again, I'm not a socialist. I think it's a bad idea. But if I was him, I might have thought the same thing. Who knows? So I think he was. But so what? He still had many good ideas, many good concepts. Absolutely. This is a really good time to highlight that police departments are monopolies. I'm not sure it is. That might be a bridge too far, Matt. Maybe. I think let's try to fix it first before we go there. The idea of going that level of multiple police forces is a tough pill for most Americans to swallow. We do like law and order. We love government. So I'm not saying you're wrong. It may be a bridge too far for now. One cannot be disappointed without hope. Yes, absolutely. Yes, 100%. Yes. Let's see. First Amendment only applies when it's convenient. Sadly, that's sometimes true. We should not be doing that at all. 100%. No, we need to make sure that the First Amendment applies always, as long as you're not hurting somebody else. Make police brutality settlements come out of police pension funds. Not a bad idea, except most of the pension funds are also supplemented by taxpayers. So yes, but maybe not. Depends. All right. Okay. I'm so glad I'm not the only crazy person out there. The system, the structure, accidental on purpose is the problem. Yes, Tim, you're completely right. That's the problem. Yes. Yes, I was told that I shouldn't do that, and they're right. I get emotional sometimes, Chrissy. I shouldn't do that, so I'm trying to not do that. I'm working on it. I'm human. I'm getting better. I'm getting better. Yes. Yes, Freed's talking about the truth. He absolutely is. He's talking about the truth, 100%. I'm a big fan. I like Freed. I watch him all the time. He gives us very good stuff. I love it. Larry, you just won a fan from. Look at that. Got a fan. I love it. Let's keep going. Yes. When local leaders like Cuomo and Trump, who during the COVID crisis kept blaming Trump for everything and took no accountability for their poor local leadership, that's why everyone else looks to the federal government to do what local government should have done. I'll say it once and I'll say it again. Trump is a reaction to poor local government. I think you've got some, it's a valid point there, right? The issues I always bring up. When you add government, you remove community. When you add federal government, you remove local government. It's how it works, right? So that monopoly that Matthew's talking about, that government is a monopoly, right? Yeah, as government comes down, it begins to control everything. You're totally right. So we want to go back to community, to the best, to the best ideas of localization to the best of our ability, 100%. This is a time for those minds to step. Absolutely, Sean. Yes, indeed, 100%, 100%. Love your ideas. Thank you so much, Robert. I'm trying to rock and roll to the best of my ability. Cops should be like butlers. Not sure I get that one. I would rather cops be more like firefighters, right? More like firefighters. People love firefighters, right? Why? Because what do? When your house on fire, you call a firefighter, and the firefighter comes and put your fire out. Awesome. Thank you, firemen. We love you. Awesome. We love firefighters. Otherwise, they basically say, here are safety tips. Here is what you should do. Here are some good ideas on safety. I think cops could be more like that versus actively trying to get people, because when you're actively trying to get people, you tend to get people, and you might not need to. So, let's see here. Rights can't be destroyed or taken away. They can only be violated or protected. It's pretty clear that our current elected officials, not leaders, don't feel responsible to protect them. Yeah, look, this is the hard part about rights. All right. People will fight on when the rights come from. Do they come from this? Do they come from the Constitution? Do they come from God? Do they come from nature? Where do rights come from? A lot of people will have that fight. And I'm going to tell you something very important. Regardless of where you believe rights come from, your rights exist only because your community says they do. And that makes some of you go crazy when I say that, but it's still true. Why do you own your house? Because your community says so. If a community says no, they will physically take your house. And if you fight them, they will kill you and your house goes away. Your community has to agree. You have to be part of your community and ensure, to your point, Philip, that they protect rights and respect rights and don't violate rights. Because if your community violates rights, you lost those rights. I mean, we see this in the most basic idea of family. You get to see your child in family court because the community says you do. You get to be a mother or father because the community says you do. And that sounds horrible. I know it does. It's still true. We have to change our communities to understand and value rights so they will be protected and not violated. And the more we don't worry about rights or principle and worry about law and order, that's the reason to violate rights. That's the reason to not protect. You heard Trump say it. His first thing is not the Constitution. He didn't even mention the Constitution. His first issue was to protect us and then enforce the laws. Constitution, that's like number 3, 4, 5 on his list, not number 1, and it should be. So I'd love for you to have a conversation with Adam Calhoun. I don't know who he is, but I'm happy to have him have that conversation. Please connect us. Happy to. So, all right, if I can go through here. I love this. Peace officers instead of enforcers of the law. Andrew, so nice. I love that very much. So good. Love that idea. Yes. All right. I guess I'm gonna grab this little piece here from Roya. It's not about whether Gandhi and MLK were perfect. It's about whether we can glean wisdom in furtherance of liberty. Yes, Roy, exactly. Likewise, it doesn't matter how much someone agrees with you. If you can agree on more liberty, it's progress. 100%. Right. This is a critical piece. Roy's 100% right. All these people that we look up to are imperfect. They all have problems or issues or concerns. All of them. So I have an idea. Why don't we not just decide that they're bad because I can find something wrong with them? Why don't we do exactly what Roy's saying? And what can we pull? What wisdom can we pull from them? What wisdom can we pull from them? I tell people you're the smartest man I've ever heard speak. You're always on point. Thank you so much, Joey. I'm not sure that's accurate, but thank you. I'll take the compliment. I appreciate it very much. Absolutely. So, all right, guys, I want to say thank you so much today. As always, if you like what you hear, please like, comment, and share this on the way. Please, right now, it's important. Go connect to me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. It matters. Like me on Facebook. It matters. Subscribe on YouTube. This stuff matters. And if you've got some cash, if you're in a good spot, head over to patreon.com/sharpeway. Throw me $5, $10, $20, whatever you got. If you're filthy rich, like I know Tim is filthy rich, you can throw me $200, $400 a month. Go ahead and do that because you got so much money. But if you don't have the money, no worries. You don't have to do that. Like, comment, share, subscribe. The algorithms, it matters. Facebook, like, and follow me on Twitter. All of these things matter. Please do this. If it does, if you do see the value in this, please support it to the best of your ability. I will see you guys all tomorrow.